Hey everyone, it's Libby from Maighstir Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people. It's W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Yes, it's a dress. It's that sort of weather today, so thought I would just fling something a little bit lighter and more casual on. Big Friday! And oh, me hearties! Happy Speak Like a Pirate International Day. Yo ho ho and a bottle of good bloody gin. Okay, entertainment only. What do I want to have a look at? Oh, first of all, slight correction. Correction corner. Erica. Was Miss USA Texas. So yes, it was the Orange Twerps pageant. So I'm just putting that out there. Also, just want to mention, I'm not actually going to read on the Orange Twerp today, but a few of my beautiful viewers have said if you have a look at his footage when he's coming off the aeroplane, off the aeroplane, and the wind blows, you can see things in his trousers and swollen ankles and all the rest of it. Yeah, I'm not going to look at a video. I really don't want to see anything in his trousers. But apparently, all at the dinner, the banquet, you can see again concealer on the hand. So if you are wondering why he looks so chirpy, then yeah, he'd had his infusion of yippee beans. So that's, yeah, can't be good for his health system though, just putting it out there. And didn't you absolutely love, no, the royals have been, in the history of royalty, especially in the modern day, they undertake these sorts of events for political reasons at the request of the government in the United Kingdom, and they have entertained, and they know how to wine and dine and entertain and pander up to somebody. They have done so to some complete a-holes from around the world, dictators and aggressors and all the rest of it, to try and smooth over the diplomatic channels. Now, you've also got to be aware that the royal family is brilliant at casting shade when they want to. I mentioned a couple of them yesterday where, you know, no red carpet, etc. At the banquet dinner, both Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine, Kate, we call her Kate over here, absolutely dripping in diamonds, basically giving the middle finger and saying, ha ha ha, none of this is yours. So just do not underestimate the shade. And also then you had King Charles up there talking about how wonderful the alliance with Australia is, and talking about the free speech and etc, etc. I'm sure it all went over the Orange Twerp's head, but for those of us that are in the know, we're in the know. Okay, so what am I going to actually look at in this particular reading? Well, first of all, I might start with Jimmy Kimmel. A little bit late coming on today because I have been arguing with YouTube, or discussing with YouTube, about the age restrictions that went on my Harris videos the other day. Apparently I have no strikes against the channel, thank goodness, even though I had been informed I had one. But apparently they're claiming it was reviewed by humans, and yes, there was nudity, and I'm like, but here is the image, it was not nude, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, you know, it stands. It was reviewed and it just stands. It's like, oh, whatever. So I'm sure I was giving the middle finger to the screen at the same time that the person on the other end was. But the good news is there's no strikes against the channel. I was a bit worried about that because 3 strikes and the channel gets taken down. Okay, so I want to have a look at the freedom of speech. Speaking of strikes, the freedom of speech. Now, the ABC journalist, Australian Broadcasting Corporation, from Four Corners journalist that had asked the Orange Twerp the question before he left for the UK, asked him the question about the money that he was making as president, commonly known that he is, apparently ended up in the ABC, Australian Broadcasting Corporation, being banned from further press conferences. Oh Okay, so the latest news is Jimmy Kimmel has been taken off air because, shock horror, he dared to say, despite the fact that with the unaliving of Kirk, and he sent a letter of heartfelt sympathy, not a letter, a text out, he put it on the social media of heartfelt sympathy at this time, while the Orange Twerp was basically yapping on about ballrooms, etc., and tearing out 200-year-old plus trees to make room for this ballroom. Not only has he paved over the rose garden, but he's tearing out these beautiful historic trees. Basically, what he's been taken off the air for is saying the MAGA gang are trying to score political points by characterising Mr. Robinson as anyone but them. And apparently that was so evil. The FCC chair, Brendan Carr, came out. He's a Trump felon supporter, came out and said the sickest possible conduct. What about the dude on Fox talking about giving unaliving injections to homeless people? Was that not sick conduct? Anyhow, we know what's going on. You and I, deep breath. We know what's going on and we need to be fully aware. Now, apparently Kimmel has lawyered up because he is still under contract, and under the First Amendment to the Constitution gives the right to free speech. Now, what the right to free speech doesn't mean you can say anything about anybody, because that would then be liable. And the Orange Twerp has found out that when you are liable, you can get sued for it, and you know that you can't. There are restrictions. You can't stir. Well, theoretically, you're not supposed to stir up violence. You're not allowed to say libelous things about people. So, in other words, accusing them of something that's untrue publicly. But the first Constitution does state that you have the right to criticise the government without fear of retaliation. So free speech does not mean, you can say anything. It means that you can honestly and truthfully criticise without fear of retaliation. And that's what's happened. This is retaliation because he allegedly criticised. I don't see anything there criticising the government, but anyhow, in what Kimmel said. Now, we also have to remember, look back in history, and I'm sure our grandparents for my age, it might be great-great-grandparents if you're a bit younger than me, thought probably exactly the same, mind-blowing, what the F, back in the 1930s, but also remembering they didn't have access to all this information either. They didn't necessarily know what was going on, and at the moment it feels like ignorance is bliss. But in 1933, it was in the German Constitution, the right to free speech, to be able to criticise the government in an honest manner without fear of retaliation. In 1934, under the election of the mustachioed man, 1 year later, there was a law passed that made it illegal to criticise or mock, that's not the actual wording, but make fun of the NAZI government. Made it illegal to do so. And another thing is what was it? Kirk was the unaliving penalty, that Biden should be thrown in jail and given the unaliving penalty. The Orange Twerp said Liz Cheney should, face the firing squad with 9 pew-pew implements. It's just... Now, I believe the Republicans are trying to put through a law. Bondi is trying to put through a law. This is supposed to be the top lawyer for the US people, not for the government, but for the people, trying to put through a law that is banning criticism of the felon government, criticism or making a joke about or mocking the felon government. So very much shades of 1934. However, that being said, deep breath. We've been this as humans through this before. I want to do a really interesting reading in regards to something to do with that. We've been through this before. It will pass like a kidney stone, painfully, at times crippling, emotionally, but it will pass. Humans have been here. Oh, we don't seem to learn, do we? We have been here before. So what else have I got? Apparently is it the New York Times is basically the Orange Twerp has sued the New York Times for something like 15 billion, and they've said bring it on. Conservative CNN has called the ruling by the FCC in regards to threatening ABC. Now, I thought it was Disney, but I didn't realise how intertwined they all were. Got to remember, ABC apparently, allegedly, are in the middle of a merger deal that if the Orange Twerp decided to be petty, he could destroy that merger deal, remembering that, was it CNN went through that recently with Paramount or something along those lines, and he could have scuttled it if they didn't agree to take Colbert off the air. Yeah, it's all out there in plain sight. But apparently CNN has basically called it state repression that is being brought forward. Interestingly enough, Tucker with an F basically said if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. He's come out against, believe it or not, Tucker with an F has come out against this attack on Kimmel as well. So, as I said, the hyenas are going to tear themselves apart from within in that sign. So just stay out of their way. But I'm going to have a look, and I'm going to use my least offensive deck, my mystical manga cards. Oh, it does get to the stage you wonder what to blooming cover up. Does it have to be a neck to knee? Okay. I'm going to ask first up. So Bondi is presenting or drafting or whatever for Congress. Might even just be an executive order, because I said before November, I said if he gets elected, he'll rule by royal decree, and that's what executive orders are. It's basically made Congress irrelevant, Supreme Court's irrelevant. Let's have a look. So, show me about a law to suppress criticism, make it illegal to criticize the government. Let's have a look. Come on down, using the mystical manga cards, M-A-N-G-A, in case you want the spelling. Okay. Three of Wands. It is about a plan coming to fruition. However, this figure is looking out to overseas, well, not necessarily overseas, but looking out to the horizon to watch for the ship to come in. So I suspect it's already been written up, and they're waiting for the ship to come into harbour. Let's see where this goes. The agreement to do so, the contracts and agreements. Do not be surprised if it's actually just an executive order signing this law, or they try and attach it to the. I did a reading the other week on a government shutdown, because the 30th of September is a budget needs to be passed. Now, has anyone heard anything about a budget actually been put together, or are they just planning on kicking the can down the road? So what may happen, what I'm feeling, is that they'll try and attach it to the budget, but if it's rejected, then it'll simply be an executive order. The challenge here is the agreement that was made. Can also be the orange twerp's health. His health is absolutely not good. And when he goes, boy, oh boy, get out of the way. Okay, so the challenge is the agreement that was made to do this. At the foundation, we've got the Queen of Cups. This feminine energy, not revealing all. So there might be something in the legal wording of it that has not been revealed. The energy stewing in, keeping a lid on the situation. Could also be keeping a lid on the criticism. Oh, but like really, a question to ask, about the money that he makes. The next thing you know, oh, goodness me. Anyhow, in the past, the Two of Swords, thigh deep in the swamp, ignoring the legalities. I have said before, and I will say it again, the Constitution is being used as toilet paper. And I do believe a new Constitution will be written because the current one is obviously shown to be just ended up in the shredder basket, basically. But in the past, trying thigh deep in the swamp, eyes are closed to the legality, trying to make a decision about which way to actually go forward with this. Do we do an executive order or do we go via Congress? So that'll be interesting to see which one it actually ends up as. I'm just going to say the Heritage Foundation, for those that aren't aware, there have been reports come out over the last 5+ years about the Heritage Foundation having teams of constitutional lawyers looking for loopholes. So this isn't new, them bringing forward what is happening from this regime. It's been the odd one from the Orange Twerp himself throws them for a 6, but a lot of what they're doing is grey area in the Constitution. That's why I'm saying the Constitution, it's just sitting in the shredder basket because it was too grey, too vague. Anyhow, let's see where we go. Crowning this reading, blatant manipulation, the magician. Look over here while this is happening over there. It may, why am I getting that to mention the EPS files will be, that's what I'm getting. Thank you. That's why I was getting there'll be something in this legislation that they're trying to put past this executive order or whatever it is, to mention the EPS file is going to be included is what I'm getting. Oh, gosh. Right, here we've got the Two of Wands. So we had the Three of Wands waiting for the ship to come in. The Two of Wands is about looking at alternate options. Again, another two. Do we make this announcement? Do we make that announcement? They may be waiting for the Orange Twerp to come back from his overseas trip. Boy, that's been rough on his health. I'm just going to put it out there. Absolutely really rough on his health. So again, deciding which way to go on this. Do we try and put it through via Congress? Potentially, I just said trying to attach it to the budget bill. But it might end up going executive order. Yeah, here's the Emperor externally. Dictatorship, my way or the highway. You will do what I say. No negotiation entered into. Internally, the Lover's card, the unbalanced agreements, the contracts, the binding agreements that have been done behind the scenes. Hopes and fears, volatile information coming out, but fiery messaging. That's what they fear. They fear fiery messaging. Remembering that the Orange Twerps announced that apparently Antifa has been considered a terrorist organisation. What's Antifa? Antifa's not the boys that are proud or the guys that keep the oath or anything like that. Antifa is an idea. It's like Hamas. Hamas, yes, it is an organization, but it's more of an idea rather than sort of wearing a logo on your back or anything along those lines. They fear the messaging. Okay. Right. Justice. It will be legally challenged. There's a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes, possibly also money changing hands in regards to this. We've got the infighting. A lot of hard work going on behind the scenes trying to write this up. But you've got the Five of Wands, the infighting that's going to come out of this. Because, I mean, you've already got Tucker with an F saying, coming out against it. You've got the conservative CNN head Frum, or whatever his name is, saying that this is repressive. Within that right wing, they don't like it. You've got Candace Owen going off a banana, remembering she's been sued by the Macrons, and that case is going forward as well. Got the Queen of Coins. The could be Homeland Security, and then the Page of Wands. The messaging, the bringing of the messaging, the one holding the message stick. David from Tarot by the Bay had this in regards to Kimmel himself. Something that's happened in the past, tied to the devil, and they're ending up in a nightmare situation. It's all about the people and suppressing the people with the Hanged Man, but the wheel is turning. There's going to be massive overreach here. Oh, there's Bondi on the bottom. Bondi on the bottom, who's going to vehemently defend this, and with the King of Swords as well. It's part of a strategy. You've got the Empress, part of the Russian strategy, let me put it that way. The Hermit, Page of Swords, King of Cups, abuse of power, etc. Okay. I think they're going to put it through. It's going to be legally challenged. But there's something here. I just want to ask something here that they've gone too far. This is a gone too far moment, because all those on the far right, they don't agree with this. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying most of it. Yeah. Well, you've got the Death card there and then the Star of Hope and Healing. We do know with the passing of the Orange Twerp that things are really going to shift. So they're trying to consolidate the power for the regime, but I don't think it's gonna wear. Show me. So yes, I think they're gonna do it. I think it's gonna overreach. I suspect it'll be executive order. It will be then legally challenged. Oh boy, which is the usual, take it up to the Supreme Court and they'll do whatever the Orange Twerp tells them to, or the regime. It's not the Twerp himself, it's those that are hiding behind, and we are finding out the names of those hiding behind. They are not in the dark anymore. Okay, right, we've got the manipulation. So my question was, are they actually going to succeed with this? So we've got the here and now is the attempted manipulation, and I would not be surprised, it's the old look over here while that's happening over there. Suppression of the EPS files is included in that in some form. Now, I believe, was it Massey that came out and said, well, there are 6 people in Congress and two high-profile movie stars and these number of bankers. I can't remember the exact numbers, but basically, said, look, we know there's all these people involved. I'm not naming them, but we know that they are involved. And Patel at the hearing in regards to it absolutely lost the cheese off his biscuit, screeching into the microphone. I haven't watched it. I've read a report on it by Occupy Democrats, and apparently he was just losing his banana trying to deflect. Yeah, do not be surprised if part of this executive order banning making it illegal to criticize the government includes factors of accusing of illegal activity. Thank you. That's what my guide said, that there's going to be something about it making it illegal to accuse anybody in the government, in other words, in the regime, of illegal or corrupt or something. No, they're not using the word corrupt. What's the word you guys are using? Criminal activity. Illegal or criminal activity. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Challenge is the Empress. Abundance for all, the birth of something new. The challenge here could also be the talking points of Russia. Now, I'm going to have a look at Russia in a minute because, boy, oh boy, there's some stuff happening over there at the moment between earthquakes and oil refineries and reports coming out about poisonings and all sorts of things. The challenge is actually Russia. Okay, let's see where this goes. The energy that they're stewing in at the moment is that they know that they're on the losing end, that they're on the defeated end of what they're trying to achieve. You've only got to look at the parallels in history. Apparently the ICE is operating as the mustachioed man's brown shirts. He lost control of the brown shirts, and the orange felons lost control of the ICC dudes as well. This is me trying to avoid the censors. There's something not right here. Okay. In the past, we've got similar cards, different order, the agreement that was made, the verbal agreement. And yes, it was Henry II. Get rid me of this. Was it Henry II? I hope I've got my Henrys right now. That said, rid me of this troublesome priest. So there's verbal agreements here in the past. Crowning this reading again to try and keep a lid on the situation. But also there's not showing everything that is going to be in this decree in the immediate future. Abandoning what is emotionally not working. But this could also be the people going, well, hang on, not this thing, not this. I was watching, listening to Hogarth's live, Hogarth Dash, yesterday. And Sheila from Celtic Tarot, I think I've got that right, was saying that there is going to be something where the majority of people go, hang on, because if they go after your First Amendment, what's to say they won't go after your Second Amendment if you don't agree with them? So this might be this step too far. You've got the Strength card externally. compassionate strength, but feminine strength, women rising up, and internally an emotional new beginning, an emotional partnership, an emotional cleansing. Okay, are they going to achieve this? Let's keep going. Hopes and fears. Well, this is their plan. Putting the plan together, the outcome. Look at this feminine energy, Queen of Swords, Justice, and the People. Again, same cards but different order. Justice for the people. I don't think they're going to. Pardon me. Whenever I'm talking on the orange twerp, I get a cough and a frog in my throat. The underlying energy is telling the peasants what they will do. It's very much about, oh, the orange twerp is so jealous of royalty because he thinks royalty is the same as what it was 500 years ago, where you just could chop off the extremities of those that you disagreed with, lock them up in towers, and put the wife aside and have 10 mistresses and all the rest of it. This is the underlying energy is consolidating the money all in that top 0.1% and having everybody else beg. It's too much. It's too far with that 10 of Swords. It is going to be seen as an abuse of power, as a bullying tactic, and people are going to walk away from it. It's going to stink, and more and more people are going to walk away from it. You then have this King of Cups, whoever this King of Cups is. I'm just going to revert to we the people. We the people taking action. We have this new opportunity to do so with the Ace of Coins. So again, I think it's going to be one of those, it's going to be a step too far, because if they say the law is passed to make it illegal to criticise the government, forget about protesting. Forget about, writing dissent to your senator. Forget about posting something on social media that says, like Occupy Democrats and Midas Touch and all those, they will be targeted. It's a way too far, absolutely way too far. And I'm just going to say, I really feel that in it is a clause that will be something along the lines making it illegal to accuse any yes, big yes. Now, please note, there is not a nude person there. They've been covered up. Yes, that the Epstein files is going to be, oh gosh, and there it is again, yes, going to be included. I put that randomly back in and there it was. So in some way, worded as such that it, illegal to accuse any government official of criminal activity or something along those lines, which would include right down to the sheriff in Mississippi that ruled that a young black man with 2 broken arms and a broken leg, beaten to a pulp, managed to climb up a tree and with a piece of rope unalive himself. There's been 2 autopsies done in regards to that. I think there was one official and the family requested a second. The second family requested autopsy, said there was no way on this earth that young man did it to himself. The sheriff had ruled it as suicide. And the family has lawyered up. So I hope they sue the backside. But this legislation, I suspect, is going to make it illegal to do that sort of thing. But I want to ask, how's it going to go for Jimmy Kimmel? Now, I'm using the Golden Universal Tarot because I suspect he will sue for money to because he is under contract at the moment, and under his First Amendment rights, they had no grounds for dismissal. So how's it going to go for Jimmy Kimmel? There's that card that, as I said, David from Tarot by the Bay had yesterday to signify Jimmy Kimmel. The man holding the message stick. Person holding the message stick and bringing forth the message. Okay. See where it goes. Challenged by the right to free speech. It's pretty much how it is. The challenge is the Constitution, the best of democracy, the Constitution. He is a big star. Now, remembering when Colbert was taken off, the Orange Twerp messaged on his Untruth social that Kimmel would be next. He had been salivating for any excuse to take Kimmel off the air. So the challenge is the balance of the Constitution. At the foundation, we've got the Three of Pentacles, the dark money dictating. So you've got the two figures here dictating to the one actually doing the work what they should be doing. So this is the moneyed individuals behind the scenes dictating with their power to ABC, which is American Broadcasting Corporation. ABC for me is the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. The Australian one is people owned by the taxpayers in Australia, so therefore it's pretty unbiased. The Conservatives don't like it because it's unbiased. It's not propaganda. But yeah, this is the dictating. This is what's going on. In the past, yeah, cups all lined up, smug merchant. I can do this if I want because I am Lord Ruler. But it's also might be careful what you wish for card. Crowning this reading, we've got the Strength card. You've got the energy here trying to placate the orange lion, trying to shut him up basically, but trying to placate. Sorry, let me get that right. It's a hard C, not a soft C. Placate the orange lion. So this is the ABC going, yes, sir, how high would you like us to jump type thing. Okay, for Kimmel though, there's this Queen of Pentacles again. So this is about looking at the protections of the document. Can also be Jimmy Kimmel bringing forward a financial lawsuit or considering a financial lawsuit. Let's see where it goes. Externally, completely out of left field, stinky fish. I think he felt sideswiped by this because, like me, he was being very careful in the cards. You know, I've defaced my cards for the YouTube censors. What more do they want? That's what I said to him at the end of the chat. What more do you want me to do? I have an 18 plus already on my channel as a standard. I do not show any nudity on my cards at all. What more do you want me to do? And they basically said, oh, well, our guidelines are the ruling stands. It's like, oh, far out. So he was being very careful. So this has blindsided him because, in all honesty, externally blindsided him. He said nothing. There was nothing in what he said that was libelous, untrue. I mean, the whole family comes out and says that the young fella was MAGA. Yeah, I think he was sideswiped a bit in regards to this. Internally, so I'm asking about with Kimmel. Internally, he's feeling betrayed, emotionally really disappointed that the United States that he knows and loves has come to this. However, he's got still two cups standing here. So yeah, I think he feels like he's been good and properly shafted for no reason. Okay, hopes and fears, the Fool card. New journey. He's setting out on a new journey. Is he, the universe has got his back. Is he being foolish going off a cliff here? I don't think so. I think this is a new journey that someone of his ilk needed to be, right, thank you. Okay, I'm just going to remind you that if we don't take the path we're meant to and learn the lesson we're meant to, the universe will give us another opportunity, possibly from another angle, but it's the same lesson, to learn the lesson. Stephen Colbert did not take up the gauntlet to really push back on this. And what's happened is the universe has then put Kimmel up for it. There needs to be a really popular public face to take this fight forward that people can rally behind. Now, Colbert, yes, it sort of was a half-hearted rally behind. There wasn't sort of some big movement because he's still on air, from what I understand. He just got an Emmy Award. Kimmel, I think, is a different kettle of fish. So yeah, this is for him. Okay, the World card. The world is his oyster. To do this, this is about bringing a cycle to an end. Which cycle is that? You've got the orange twerp up here facing off against the might of the United States Constitution. You've got the lion and the bull down here. Now, that can be strength, and the bull can be bull in the china shop, destroying everything. You've got strength is underneath the Constitution. The bull, destroying everything, is under the orange twerp. The whole world is watching, because how far adrift do we cast the United States? How many lines of safety do we slice to protect the rest of the world? Yeah, this is big world stuff. Okay. And hear a lot of news about it. He's not going to go quietly into the night. And we have gone from the page to the King of Wands. So the Page of Wands here, the King of Wands here. A lot of information is going to come out in regards to this really quickly as he takes up the mantle and takes action in regards to this in the way that Colbert didn't. Now, you've got here the Three of Swords, the betrayal, the deceit, the heartbreak. He feels like he's been betrayed by the American Broadcasting Corporation and whomever else he is contracted to, because they didn't stand up for him. They just caved and said, oh whatever. He feels betrayed. Absolutely. However, this may also be treasonous, this action. I keep using that word when treasonous. The naivety in the past, on the back foot, defending his position, and he's going to bring forward a really powerful message that is going to expose the lunacy of this regime, about those that are paying for play, basically, about the moneyed situation, the manipulation of the people. And we've got, can't do a reading without that card. I mean, I've still got a heap left, but it's going to bring about a tower moment for those that tied themselves to the devil, and you might find that they face some really severe legal action. On the base, we've got the abuse of power, betrayal, people walking away from this outright bullying. You've got the intergenerational money here, but this can also be the legacy. It's oligarch money, but there's a harsh truth coming forward. You've got trying to get out of troubled waters, But then you've got the far right infighting that's going to bring about new relationships, and you've got the complete and utter downfall of this, I was going to say, okay, Russian propaganda pretty much. And then we have a new opportunity to rebuild. Oh boy. So yeah, I'm actually getting, because Colbert didn't, now nothing against him at all. He's fabulous. But because he didn't take up the big fight in regards to this, there was sort of, I won't, not rolled over, absolutely not rolled over, but there wasn't the absolute huge message pushback that Kimmel. So we've had to there's been the second one that is okay, right? We gave the opportunity with Colbert. Yeah, it was lukewarm. Okay, we'll give you Kimmel. So just know that this is part of the lesson. And we, the people, have the choice to either get behind Kimmel and really push back, or roll over and accept. And I know you are not going to roll over and accept, but pick how you go about this, because the far right are going to do most of the heavy lifting for us. So stay in the light, stay in the love. This is your opportunity to build networks and communities based in positivity. And that's your role in this, because the far right, I think, by the time you've got Tucker and Bannon and Owens and the boys that are proud and the ones that with the oath, and you've got the turning points. Looks like Erica's going to step up into that, so maybe she was the female energy I was getting. I don't know that they're going to like it, because she's not what they were all about. Women in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant. All these others, Fuente, Shapiro, not the Governor Shapiro, but there's another one out there. The Vances, they're going to do the heavy lifting for you. And it is very much about, because they're going to get themselves criticised. Okay, I've waffled on for long enough. I shall catch you shortly. Take care.